Since the early days of video gaming, we've been looking for more and more ways to take our games with us. From the primitive handhelds of the 1970s that could only play one game each, to the 3DS, which brought portable stereo 3D to the masses, to the NVIDIA Shield that can stream full-quality games wirelessly from a PC. So as it becomes increasingly easy to cram high-end equipment into a small package, just think what's possible these days with a smartphone or a small form factor computer, it might not be surprising that the next big thing in console gaming might be Nintendo's new Switch, a living room console that's also being pitched as a fully portable console. Wait, what? Okay, so it's like this. The Switch took one of the main selling points of its commercially unsuccessful predecessor, the Wii U, and made it a lot more robust. The Wii U featured a screen on the main controller that enabled the gamer to play without a TV, maybe while they were in the bathroom or something. But the caveat was that you had to stay within a certain range of the actual console, which, combined with a distinct lack of killer apps, meant that this wasn't enough to lure people away from competition like Sony and Microsoft. But, not to be dissuaded by poor sales figures, Nintendo, making what some consider to be its last stand in the living room console arena, is doubling down on this concept by making the Switch's 720p screen part of the console itself, which has a tablet-esque form factor and weighs slightly less than 400 grams with the controllers attached to the side, a little lighter than an iPad Air 2. When you're using the Switch in standard living room mode, or TV mode as Nintendo calls it, the console connects and charges over USB Type-C to an included dock that features an HDMI port and 3 spare USB Type-A ports. Although the Switch comes with a somewhat meager 32 gigabytes of internal storage, this is expandable through a microSD card slot. Good on you, Nintendo. So the Switch will play games at either 1080p or 900p at up to 60 frames per second while connected to a TV, and, this is cool, in 60 FPS titles, it can even maintain this frame rate when you take it on the road. But if this wasn't enough of a paradigm shift for you, where things get really interesting is when we start to look at the controller setup. The Switch actually comes with a pair of controllers. So yes, you get local multiplayer out of the box. They're called Joy-Cons, and they bear a passing resemblance to Wii remotes, but are quite a bit more versatile in addition to being smaller. The console comes with a Joy-Con grip that holds the Joy-Cons together to allow them to behave like a single controller with more traditional ergonomics. But if you want to remove the Switch from the dock and take it with you, the Joy-Cons can also act as independent controllers for portable local multiplayer, or they can slide directly onto the console itself, making it look kind of like the Wii U controller, except with the ability to play on toilets everywhere, instead of just the ones in your home. And Nintendo is pushing the multiplayer aspect very hard here, not only emphasizing how folks can play with separate controllers on the same screen wherever they go, but also that up to 8 separate Switch consoles can be linked together on a local network. Some games will even run on multiple Switches in this manner with just one cartridge, similar to Diablo Spawn or Download Play on the 3DS. Joy-Cons also support motion sensing, but a bit differently than you might have experienced it on the Wii or the Wii U. One of your 2 Joy-Cons has an IR sensor that can detect not only motion, but distances and shapes, and both Joy-Cons support what Nintendo is calling HD Rumble, which is an advanced haptic engine that can simulate lots of different sensations. Nintendo demoed this by showing how it could simulate the feeling of an ice cube rattling around a glass, with the player being able to distinguish between one and multiple cubes, and between solid ice and liquid water. Pretty cool. Big if, game devs actually implement any of these features. On the subject of the games themselves, this is an area Nintendo is definitely looking to improve on. Over 50 games are in development, and there's going to be extra emphasis on first-party titles like Mario and Zelda to give players an optimally Nintendo-y experience. But even though the Switch is obviously newer than the PS4 or Xbox One, don't expect it to push the limits of console performance. The NVIDIA Tegra GPU also isn't going to come close to competing with a high-end PC graphics card. But it wasn't designed to, as Nintendo experiences tend to be less about cutting-edge graphics and more about delivering something unique that isn't easy to replicate on a PC or other gaming box. And, of course, tempering the graphics horsepower means better battery life. The console itself is expected to work for 3 to 6 hours, while the Joy-Cons can get up to 20 hours each. One thing that's decidedly not that cool is that, unlike in the past, Nintendo is going to start charging an annual fee for online multiplayer, though thankfully, they are widely expected to undercut Sony and Microsoft, so you probably won't be paying nearly as much as you would for a PSN or Xbox Live subscription. So will it be successful? At $300, the launch price puts it on par with the PS4 and Xbone right now, except that they come with an included game and both have massive back catalogs. So whether you make the switch will ultimately come down to Nintendo being more successful selling this hybrid paradigm than NVIDIA was. TunnelBear. TunnelBear lets you VPN, or tunnel, through 20 different countries, allowing you to browse the internet and use online services as though you are in a different country. And the best thing about it is that it's super easy to use. They've got apps for iOS, Android, PC, and Mac. They also have a Chrome extension, and you just click a button and boom, your connection gets encrypted and you appear to the services and websites you use online as though you are a different person in a different country. They've got a top-rated privacy policy, they don't log user activity, and you can try it for free with 500 megs of data by heading over to tunnelbear.com/Linus, where you can also save 10% when you decide to get an unlimited data plan. Thanks for watching. Like, dislike, check out our other channels, leave a comment with video suggestions, and subscribe! Subscribe.